Dane, it is so stinking cold out, and I don't know what I'm going to do.
Guess who's not cold?
You.
The Dallas Cowboys.
Stop
Dubs.
now. No.
55-0.
I really wish that we weren't in the Cowboys Stadium tomorrow. We being me and the Packers, because we are one. We are joined together in this fight to take you down.
Wait. Is that your K-Life gift?
Yeah, this is episode 55 of the Until Next Week podcast. No. Yes, I'm wearing the K-Life jacket. Didn't you get one of these?
I did, but I didn't know that was a color.
It looks really nice on this audio podcast.
Samuel's wearing like a maroon one, and I got a green one.
It's clean. It's like a fleece.
But I didn't know maroon was an option.
You know what is an option though? Getting new listeners from new countries for the podcast.
Ooh.
Who do we got this week? Who do you think?
Hold on, Venezuela.
What did the news say? What did the news say on the notes that we put?
Hold on, it says news.
But I put NEWZ. It is New Zealand.
Dang it. I thought you were just being a cool cat.
I know. I thought it would trick you because I want to remember it for myself. But yes, New Zealand, new country, listening to the pod, and you are now a part of a great community here.
Empire.
Empire. But this is episode 55. We got a good one for you. It'll be a little quicker than usual, hopefully.
Because of playoff football.
Yeah, it starts soon. It starts today because we're recording on a Saturday. But we hope you enjoy this episode of the Until Next Week podcast.
I love you.
Welcome back to episode 55.
Why are we welcoming them?
I don't really know.
I demand their attention.
Yeah, I hope your attention is still here because we've had very good retention of the podcast. Like the median number of people listening to the whole thing.
You're sending them to detention?
What?
You sent them to detention?
I sent them to detention, and their punishment is to listen to this podcast. Psych! This is
it's
the reward.
Joy.
You had perfect attendance for the year, and you get to listen to the Until Next Week podcast for that reason.
Man. I miss that when the reward for something was always something really sucky.
Well, and also it kind of stunk because for like those kind of awards, like perfect attendance, when you're like not driving yourself, it says a perfect attendance award for your parents.
Right.
Like it's like, oh, you weren't on time. Well, I can't drive. I'm 6. Like what? Well, you're just rewarding like whoever can get here the quickest for parents.
Also, somebody who got sick or something like that. Mm-hmm. Like, sorry.
There was a rant about that I saw the other day, and people were like, oh, just given all these things, all these, I don't know, like privileged kids. I'm like, it's not really completely that way, but at the same time, like, yeah, it's a little crazy, like especially like perfect attendance because people are sick sometimes. But I still went.
We used to get a free meal to Fazoli's.
That is awesome, actually. Fazoli's used to slap.
It still slaps.
It does. It really does. Unlimited breadsticks.
Yeah. If you are a person who doesn't know what Fazoli is, think drive-through Italian.
Think Olive Garden, but cheaper.
Way cheaper.
Way cheaper. Still get unlimited bread, not unlimited salad.
Yeah, like $10 to $12.
We used to go there like I can't really say every day. It was like when I was like 4 years old. I remember going after church for lunch. Let's get those kids' meal, that fettuccine Alfredo, get those breadsticks.
Shout out to the Jeff City one that shut down.
Shout out. And Springfield, they're going strong.
Yeah, there's 2 in Springfield.
Yeah.
And that's what we need in our life.
Nice. Do you know what we also need?
What?
We need some updates from the week.
Yeah.
And
so people of the podcast, do you want sad or happy first?
Well, I think we hit them with the high note and then we go low.
Well, which one?
Wait, I don't know what's high, what's low.
That's what I was going to ask. I was like, mine's medium.
Yeah, sure, you just start. But now everybody will just listen to your update and then turn it off. But not really.
That's true.
I'll go first then. And then you go. Nice. This past week, I went to the Trey Kennedy and Jake Triplett comedy show here in Springfield, Missouri.
I wanted to go, but you didn't invite me.
I think I mentioned it to you.
You did.
And you also were busy, which we'll get to your update here in a second for why you were busy.
Yeah.
But yeah, they had a show at one of the theaters here in Springfield, and it was good. Like, and I actually saw this exact same show back in like August or September. Whenever I had that Ghostrunners episode we talked about here on the episode on the podcast. When I went up to KC for that Ghostrunners event, they also had a show. But I was a sleepy boy that day, and I might have fallen asleep for part of the set.
What the heck?
Which made this show all the better because if it's the same material or mostly same material, it would seem like a new surprise because I didn't hear it the first time around because I was catching some Z's.
It was really surprising when you stormed the stage and tackled Jake Triplett.
But it's okay because we're tight. We're Facebook friends. Like we talk.
Are you actually Facebook friends?
Yeah, we've been before he was actually like legitimately famous.
Wow.
So that's pretty cool. And then he started his podcast, and then he jumped on with Trey Kennedy doing stand-up comedy. But it's pretty cool because he had a really good set, and he had a lot of jokes with like that are Springfield related, which I knew because they mentioned on their Ghostrunners podcast, kind of like leading up to this week, about like I think like Gypsy Rose. which
yeah.
I don't. That might have happened in the last week. I don't know if we talked about that on the last episode.
We didn't, but yeah.
If you know who Gypsy Rose is, she's from around this area. She was recently released from prison. A lot of crazy stuff happened with her. Look her up on Google. That's easier than us trying.
It's a long story that I don't quite understand.
It's confusing, but they were talking about saying like, yeah, we're invited her to the comedy show. We'll get her free tickets in Springfield if you want.
Oh, no.
But they were actually saying that on Trey Kennedy's podcast. But I was
Correct
like, okay,
opinions.
yeah, correct opinions. And I was like, okay, they're probably going to make a Gypsy Rose joke. And right away, like back-to-back Gypsy Rose jokes. And I'm like, okay, I might say this one again. I don't really know. They're just trying to test that new material.
Yeah.
But yeah, I talked about him, or her, sorry.
Wow.
I'm sorry.
Assuming genders
the
again.
disrespect. But then also we've talked about Buccee's on here. And of course, they had to make some Buccee's jokes. And something I didn't realize was when they were originally building the Buccee's, it was supposed to be in Stratford, Missouri. Oh. But you always hear Buccee's, and they're like, yeah, Buccee's in Springfield. And I was kind of confused with this whole situation, and I'm like, is it in Stratford or Springfield? And then
technically it's Springfield, kind of, sort of.
Yeah, I guess, so Jake Triplett, he's the opener, everything else, who's from Stratford, and he was talking about Buccee's, and he's like, yeah, it's so exciting, our small town of Stratford, like, we're finally getting a Buccee's. But then he kind of went on to say that no, it's actually in Springfield. I'm like, how in the world did that happen? And you can just like steal some other city's land. I know. And then he went on to make the jokes like, man, it's like, I guess that's why there were the Stratford Indians.
Oh no! Oh no!
Sorry, Jake, and anybody else going to his show in the future. If he makes that joke again, which he might.
That's funny.
Sorry for ruining your
time.
joke, but I thought it might have only been a Springfield joke. But
that's funny, horrible, and racist all at the same time.
Actually, wait, no, he posted it on his Facebook, so actually that joke's out there, and it got a reaction. Everybody's like, "Oh my gosh!"
Yeah,
just immediately.
They are the Stratford Indians.
Yeah,
though.
but the show was really good, really funny. Jake always meets with like fans after the show. Yeah. So I talked to him for a bit, and like we're tight. It was cool. He talked to me and asked me like how the podcast is going, and I'm like, we're bigger than Rogan now.
Obviously.
Yeah. But yeah, we talked about it for a little bit. It was cool that he remembered I was doing it and was really curious like how it was going. So
because he's got a lot going on.
Yeah. He's going every which way, but he's a very solid dude. We had a good conversation, and then this kind of went on with the rest of my night, and it was good.
Yeah. I bet I got more going on than he does.
You probably do. So you can go into your medium update.
So medium update. So I'll just hit you with the cancer stuff first. I had my that's Samuel opening his 18th energy drink today.
It's my second, but keep going.
I'm drinking a Fresca.
Yeah.
But cancer update. So dang it.
Sorry.
So I had my first scan post chemo to see where, as a quick reminder, testicular cancer, 12 tumors in my lungs. And they were like, hey, those shouldn't be there. You should just not have those. And I was like, yeah, me too, man. And so chemo did all that. And then they scanned. And then the doc was like, all right, let's get into it. Dr. Bandit, he's pretty cool.
Nice guy.
We talked about Cancun afterwards.
Nice.
He goes, so there's 4 remaining. There's a large one on my right side in my kind of rib area. Mm-hmm. And then there's 3 small ones on my left side. And he goes, they're tumors and they're kind of masses. But here's the thing. We don't know if they're cancerous.
Yeah.
And I said, okay, what do you mean? And he goes, well, the only way to officially know if they're cancerous is to remove them. And I said, yeah. And he goes, would obviously mean surgery. And I'm like, yeah. And he goes, as we know, we talked about that being a possibility. So yeah, that's kind of the one route of what we could do / think. Mm-hmm. He goes, or what I want to do and what was probably going to happen, he goes, is you are still showing negative cancer markers in your blood, which is really good. And I said, okay, yeah, what do you mean? Because there's still tumors, right? And he goes, yeah, but they might not be cancerous. And since there's negative cancer markers, he goes, I think they aren't cancerous.
Wait, so like, I know for a while you had like 50,000 and then went down to like 12. So there's like negative?
I had 68,000. It went down to 480 after one treatment, then 12, and then negatives, which means that I asked him that. I was like, how do you get negative? And he goes, well, the machine looks for it once and can't find any, and then looks for them again and still can't find it.
And he's like, I don't want to look anymore. You did the 2 times? Like, stop. We're good. We're good.
Yeah, it's like a sliding scale. It kind of goes into the negatives after it can't find it a second time.
Okay.
And so I'm like, okay, so that's good news. And he's like, yeah. that's why I think they're not cancerous, because the cancer markers are not in your blood.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, again, we won't know for sure unless we take them out. He goes, however, we might wait 6 weeks. And I was like, yeah, for what? And he goes, because I think they could go away on their own. And he goes, if they're not cancerous, they will. And I'm like, okay. I was like, well, what percentage do you think of that happening? He goes, I'd say like 70%. And I was like, oh. And he goes, yeah, 70% chance that you could be cancer-free right now and that these tumors just go away. And I was like, that's really good news. And he goes, yeah, but I don't want to get ahead of anything. I want to refer you to WashU in St. Louis, Washington University Medical Hospital, to get a second opinion. And I'm like, okay. And he goes, we'll do that in like 2 to 3 weeks from now. And he goes, I think they'll say the same thing that I'm saying. But these would also be the people, if surgery was to happen, they'd be the ones doing the surgery. And so right now the plan is 2 to 3 weeks from now, we go to WashU, see if they share the opinion. And if not, then what it is. Or 3 weeks after that, then I do another scan. Hopefully these tumors are continuing to shrink or have completely gone away. If they've grown, that means they're cancerous and we need to get them out. And he goes, that's when surgery would probably happen. And he's like, you go up there, then it'll be recovery time, blah, blah, blah. And so really it's like 70% good news, probably. And I'm like, okay. Okay. And I was like, well, I don't know. I guess we'll see. I was like, to be honest, everybody was like, this is really good news. Like, this is a blessing, this and that. And I was kind of frustrated just because I kind of expected to be cancer free. I kind of wanted this grand crescendo, like, oh, next season of my life, new year, no more cancer. This is great. And I can go back to doing everything, which, by the way, I can. My white blood cells are good. My platelets are good. My red blood cells are slightly low, he said, but he's not worried about it. And I'm like, okay. And so I can go back to doing K-Life and all the ministries I can do, but I still have this just unknown of like, in 6 weeks, what is this going to show? And that's just the frustrating part in my head of just like, I said to my sister on the phone right before this, I said, it's kind of like when a girl's really confused about a guy because he keeps leading her on and she just doesn't know where they stand. And then she gets told, hey, in 6 weeks, I'll let you know.
But in 3 weeks, we'll get a second opinion with my other friends. Like, hey, do you think this guy's good or what?
And they may say yes, they may say no, and they may say, well, let's just wait 3 more weeks.
Like, there's a 70% chance like he's good. But you'll talk with my other friends up there. We'll see what they think.
Right. So all of you could imagine how just like, I don't know, I've been doing cancer for 5 months anyways, and I'm just like, you tell me another month and a half, I got to sit around wondering and waiting, am I going to live or die kind of thing? I was like, I've already done that for 5 months. I'm just mad. And so it's but it's still, I had to remind myself it's good news. And even God, I was praying over my spaghetti today, and I was. And
I love how you said that so detailed. I feel like most of the time people are like, yeah, I was just praying before my meal. I'm like, I was praying over my spaghetti. Like,
I was.
Okay.
It was great. And he just kind of revealed to me, he's like, God, like, or he was like, Dane, who in this like expectation of a triumphant return, who's the main character of that story of the one that you wanted to write? Well, I am. Like, Dane wanted to be the main character of Dane's story, which is just not the case. God's the main character, and he's reminding me of that in the fact that this isn't this grand crescendo of, look how much I did through cancer. This is this grand crescendo of how much God did through me through cancer or with cancer. And so I'm just like, okay, yeah, I'm missing it kind of thing. And I even told God, I was like, God, I'm kind of mad and things like that. And it's like, he knows. You can tell him like these feelings. And so I'm like, you already know, you sense the madness in me and things like that. But even like all day every day this past week, it's been really cool because I did support race training because I got my job at my church, right?
Nice transition here.
Yeah, that if you work at my current work, do not tell our bosses.
If you do, that's mean because obviously Dane's going through some stuff, so you're a bad person.
Super selfish.
Yeah.
But they told me I went through support race training, which is really cool. And it didn't feel like work at all, which is, I think, more confirmation from God, just saying like, hey, this is what you're called to kind of thing. But I have to raise $94,000 before July. And it's not just like, I get $94,000. It's $94,000 over the next 2 years. And a third of that will go towards like technology and software costs and leadership training and leadership development and all the things that's going to cost money for that. And over 2 years.
So basically you need like $3,500 a month. It's right around there.
Something like
that.
My
quick estimate in my head.
Yeah, something like that. I have 6 spreadsheets open. One of them breaks down those numbers for me and supporters and things like that. So if you want to support me
and you know someone very wealthy, hit up Dane. And then hit up with your excess, hit up the Until Next Week podcast.
Exactly.
Sorry.
Exactly. But no, if you want to support me for whatever you think I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be doing youth ministry, by the way, middle school, high school.
Do you have a link for that yet?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, well, we can start posting that in the Spotify links if you feel called.
Yeah, if you do, you can, and it's not like you have to set up a like every month kind of thing. You can do that, and I prefer that, but you can do a one-time donation. You can do I think every other month, and it's really simple to set up once you click on it. So it's cool, and I would really appreciate that if you guys did that. But also, let me know, because I have to track this for Hill City. So if you do end up donating...
You'll probably send the Instagram a message?
Yeah, send Instagram or on the Spotify link, like just comment how much you're giving and if it's a one-time thing or monthly or whatever, the frequency of it.
We'll get the info shared. Dane will make sure he knows from there. But yeah. Just let us know.
Yeah, because if you randomly give me money, I won't know until July, and I'll think I have to keep raising more money than I actually do.
You get to July, and all of a sudden it's like, I raised $400,000. I don't who is this person?
But also, that's another thing is if you do decide to give, you can set it up a start date and an end date, so you don't have to do it immediately. You can, but you can. I'm supporting somebody who's at a church in Colorado right now. And I set up a start date July 1st, and it's going to end 2 years later on July 1st. And so you can set it, automatic payments. You don't even have to do anything else after that. You'll roll off right after that. So we try to make it as easy as possible for everybody.
Let's go.
That's what I learned from 8:30 to 5 for 3 days straight, how to do that and also tell my story. And so if you want any more questions, information, just reach out to us, and I'll answer any question you want, even if it's not related to that. Yeah.
Any question.
I don't care. I like
Let's
talking.
Go. Yeah, I mean, that's good. That's why I have a podcast.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I hope you're still listening because usually, I mean, Dane's the draw for these podcasts.
Well, that was a lot of information and rambling.
It was. So it was if you're a new listener, hey, what's up?
Give me money.
Yeah, give Dane money. That's what we're here for on the Until Next Week podcast.
Yeah.
But if you are a new listener and you're like, I don't really care, which is kind of weird, but if you don't care, then I would say that probably grinds your gears, what we just did there. But because that grinds your gears, I think we also need to share what grinds our gears, you know? Think, maybe?
Yeah, imagine this. Cancer's not grinding my gears this week.
Hey, that's an improvement at least. But I guess I'll go first here because you were talking for a bit.
Yeah, we need to take turns.
Yeah, we'll go back and forth. Yeah. But so I think I've talked about before how the heat doesn't always work in my car very well. But then I got it fixed, which is awesome. But then it started getting much colder outside, and I'm like, okay, hey, at least the heat works. So then one day I went into Walmart, and then I went back to my car. I opened up the door, did not put the keys in, and the air was already running. I'm like, that shouldn't be happening. And then after doing a little bit of research, I found out that I have like a messed up, I guess it's called like a blower in my car. And I have to take out the fuse to stop the blower until I get it fixed. But if I put the fuse back in, then it'll work. So most mornings, if it's very cold, you'll see me opening up the hood of my car, putting in a fuse, and then I get to work. I open up the hood of my car, take out the fuse, and it is...
You just put that in your pocket.
I just go around with it. But yes, it's a little annoying, but I'm still grateful the heat does work. It just stinks that I have to... take the fuse out and put it back in every single time. Like today when I picked you up, I didn't even have the fuse in. I was like, it's warm enough outside. We're fine.
Yeah, I was wearing my Carhartt.
But it's supposed to be like -7 tomorrow.
Yeah.
So I might need to put the fuse in, assuming we have church.
Well, people are saying like, shouldn't they cancel church? And I said, well, we'll cancel church when the devil quits.
Yeah.
When the devil cancels his plans, we'll cancel our plans.
I don't want this to sound bad, but on the bright side, it should be easier to find a good seat. Because it's usually pretty packed.
That's true. All these fake fans won't show up, and
it's like it's too cold. I'll stop now.
Unfortunately, my job is going to be going to this church, so I probably should show up.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea. Probably a good idea. But yeah, the heat going out, sort of going out, the blower for the heat going out. It's been grinding my gears lately. So yeah, I'll stop there.
Do you remember when Pastor Brad last week said, "Hey, if you don't believe in our vision, get out"? From stage.
So this is kind of awkward. I think I might have accidentally slept through church last Sunday, which is why I didn't give you that book earlier until now, which we'll talk about that more in a future episode. But yeah, you caught me. I'll be there tomorrow though. Just I don't know what happened last week. I think I forgot to set an alarm. I think I fell asleep, forgot to set an alarm.
I thought you said you fell asleep like while you were sitting in church.
No. Okay. I think I fell asleep before I set an alarm on my phone. So I woke up and I'm like, oops, that's not good.
Yeah.
Sorry.
If you know Samuel, you know he probably went to bed at 3 a.m. that night.
I go to bed. It could have been that.
Exactly.
Sorry.
Exactly.
I've been working on it though. It's been improving, but last Sunday was bad. Or Saturday night into Sunday morning was bad.
That's what's funny is I stay up late anyways. I'll stay up till like 11 or midnight, and I'm like, oh, I stay up pretty late. Yeah, and people are like, you're crazy, and I'm like, well, I don't really have an agenda right now. So it's like it doesn't matter for me. But for Samuel, it's like, nope, I'm going to work tomorrow, and that means I'm going to bed at 4.
Get a 3-hour nap. Not even 3-hour nap, because right now I'm supposed to show up to work around like 7 a.m. because public accounting is awesome.
Yeah. Samuel loves his job.
Yes.
And he worked on Saturday today.
Yep, I did, which is why we're recording a little bit later. But what grinds your gears, Dane?
I'm glad you asked. So last night, picture the setting. Well, actually, don't picture
Last night grinded your gears?
I
guess it did. Yeah, I guess it did. Yeah.
And
okay, I'm picturing.
Actually, don't picture.
Okay.
Because you won't want to picture this next part.
Okay.
Dane was showering.
Ooh. Don't picture it.
Don't picture that.
Don't picture the pink elephant in the room.
Whoa.
Don't think about the pink elephant. It's like what they say, like,
you say, and then
it's like, don't think about it. Don't think about it. Well, now I'm only thinking about it. So don't think about Dane in the shower. Okay, Dane, what were you doing in the shower?
Imagine, I guess, just yourself showering instead. And then, as you know, anybody who showers in silence and without music or something going on,
they're kind of crazy.
They're archaic. They're archaic society.
They are arcade.
They are an arcade games. They want to be put out to pasture or to carve their own stones to get their own wagons.
Yeah, exactly.
They were born in the Stone Age, is what I'm saying. So
is that the 70s because they did a lot of drugs?
Anything before the year 2000 was the Stone Age.
Okay. The Stoned Age.
Exactly. The Stoned Age. I see what you did there.
I know. It's like, come on, I made a joke. It's a pretty good joke. I like this joke. You didn't get that, but now we're here. We're back.
Yeah.
Okay. If you're just now getting the joke, that's probably good for you because you're not thinking about drugs.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
If you don't know what stoned means, yes.
Yep. There we go. Okay, so you're in the shower.
So imagine yourself in the shower, and then you got a sick fire playlist. You queued up 5 songs. At the end of these 5 songs, get out, scrub it up, or dry.
Car wash, is that on your playlist?
No.
That'd be perfect though.
No.
Okay.
I'm not a car.
Okay, keep going.
But I'm a machine. But so then you're like, yeah. I don't remember what I was listening to.
Rub-a-dub-dub. Standing in the tub.
Dang it.
Okay, yeah.
And then somebody calls you, and your Bluetooth speaker that you have in the shower with you,
was it Carly Rae Jepsen?
Okay. It was not Calling Me Maybe. And it was just, all you hear is bring, for like 30 seconds. And then it's worse if they call you back again because they think your phone's on Do Not Disturb. So you're just standing there for a minute, and you're like, this is ridiculous. I'm going to lose my mind. And then it gets worse whenever you put your phone on the back of the toilet, and you have your phone on vibrate. And
oh no,
it's okay. The toilet was closed.
Okay.
But it did vibrate and fall off onto the floor, and I was just like, "Oh my goodness!" And then it comes back on, and then you have to call your friend in California who forgets that, hey,
there's
may
a
be
time difference.
Yeah, it may be 10 p.m. there, but it's 1 a.m. here, and you want to have a conversation for a couple hours. So that's what grinds my gears.
So don't call people while in the shower.
Yeah, Jake Trust and Art did this.
Wait, was that him? Oh no, it wasn't him. California.
No, it wasn't him. But Jake Chestnut, when we lived together, did this relentlessly.
Just would call you?
He would wait the perfect amount of time until he knew I was in the shower and then call me over and over.
That's how he gets you out of the shower. It's like, Dane, I got to get in there. Just keep calling. Just keep calling. Just keep calling.
No, it got to the point where before I would get in the shower, I would block his number, and then I'd get out of the shower and unblock his number.
That is, okay, I just want to tell you something. You can put it on Do Not Disturb, right?
Yeah, but if you call twice, it'll go through.
Not if you make the settings where it doesn't happen that way.
There's a setting for that?
There definitely is. I mean, I have an Android, so I can do cool stuff like make it where people can't call me. But maybe with iPhones, you can't do that.
No, just put it on airplane mode.
Then why don't you put it on airplane mode?
Because then I don't have internet, and then I can't play my music, and then that's even worse than being called. Showering in silence.
I bet you there's a feature with Do Not Disturb.
There's got to be, yeah.
Because otherwise, what's the point of Do Not Disturb if someone needs to get a hold of you? 2 calls. Oh, okay. I guess it's important.
No,
You're going to be
Jake.
Disturbed right now.
I'm just going to block Jake instead.
Yeah. Okay, you can do that too. You could do that too.
That's what grinds my gears.
I don't get it. And this is our segment. I don't get it. Yeah, we brought it back for another week. I'll let you go again because I think I want to go second here. You go.
Yours is Samuel Knows. I just think we should have a spot within our podcast
where it's like one that changes
always
around.
Yeah, it's always
we could
different.
do that. But we were on a little bit of a time crunch today, so I was like, we'll just hit it again.
Yeah, it's great. No, I like it. So the NFL moved the Buffalo Bills game to Monday, and that I don't get it because you know who didn't move their game until Monday?
Who?
Washington crossing the Delaware.
So I was like, wait, Washington, they didn't make the playoffs this year.
No, George Washington crossing the Delaware to defeat the British.
The NFL playoffs, same level of
listen.
Yeah, same level stuff.
Do you believe in your team or not? Washington did.
Yeah.
He crossed the Delaware, dang it, and we took over this great nation, this great land.
I gotta know, when was the Bills game supposed to be?
It was supposed to be tomorrow, but
well,
go ahead.
I was say, what were the temps supposed to be?
So New York has declared a state of emergency for tomorrow.
Which, how cold?
I don't know how cold, but it's a dump of snow and it's super cold too.
Because
apparently.
the Chiefs are supposed to play tonight, and the starting temp at game time, I believe, is -3 with like a -20 wind chill. So
the Chiefs are fine.
Yeah, I was like, oh no, they're fine. But it's colder in New York. Like -3, you are completely safe to stand outside for 3 to 5 hours.
Yeah, I was telling my sister on the phone before this. I was like, "Who? Lindsay Reed, she sucks. Let's just say it." And then, and so, but I was.
We should have like an anti-sponsors of the week, and she's number 1.
That's such a good idea. We should have a haters of the week.
Haters of the week, still Lindsay. Okay. Well, we did a segment this week, so keep going.
Number 2, cancer, and
number 3, Michael. Not really. He's not a hater.
Well, Michael / the U.S. government, which I'll get to in a second. So, so the Kansas City issued a warning that if you were a fan at the game, you need to have all your extremities and your face and everything covered the entire game, or you will get frostbite.
That stinks for the streakers.
I mean, it does, and you got to think about it. Like, it's not a game unless there's streakers.
Yeah, seriously. Like, what's the point?
But at the same time, I almost guarantee you Patrick Mahomes isn't going to be wearing gloves because as a quarterback, you want to field the ball.
No, yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, well, you're not going to feel it anyways because your hands are numb.
Tua might die.
Tua, it's not good.
Quarterback for the Dolphins.
Yeah.
Because I heard somewhere, I don't know if this is accurate, but I heard that the coldest game he's ever played in professionally, this doesn't sound right, but it was like 40 degrees.
That's crazy.
I feel like he probably played in colder, but I heard something along those lines. But I'm sure this will be by far the coldest he ever plays in.
Because Buffalo's been in his division this whole time.
Yeah, so that's what kind of threw me off.
Yeah.
But
New England.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know either.
It'll be cold either way.
Yeah, it'll be really, really cold because I'm just like, and there's some talk that the NFL might move the game. So if you're listening to this Monday and they move the game, then disregard what we just talked about.
Yeah.
But also, one of my friend in California last night said, Dane, what a triumphant return it would be if you took down the government after beating cancer.
What?
I don't know what we were talking about.
I don't know. I don't even get that. Like, that makes no sense.
What I'm saying is Michael Fuller and Connor Rule are insurrectionists.
Connor. Okay. Hey, shout out Connor. I don't know if he listens. I don't know actually how much he listened in the first place.
I don't think he listens.
He did jump on, though, that one random episode where we were at the old sponsor house, Jake Pridgeon Art. That's not the right name. Jake
Trustin
Trustin.
Oh my goodness.
I'm so sorry to our sponsors. Jake Pridgeon, you don't have art.
Jake Pridgeon,
We're just K-Life leaders together. Sorry.
I'm actually hanging out with Jake right after this.
Hey,
Jake
shout
Pridgeon,
out to watch some football.
Yeah, I'm coming to the K-Life meeting on Monday.
I might not be there, and Jake won't be there either.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Wait, we will be there. If it gets moved to Tuesday, we won't be there. They haven't made an announcement whether they move it or not.
Well, if they move it to Tuesday, it's supposed to be negatives on Tuesday too.
Yeah, just keep it Monday. I don't know. They haven't gave us an update yet, but we'll see.
I got $1 that says Joe's going to cancel it. Joe, if you're listening, I need that $1.
I mean, he's from Jupiter, Florida.
That's so true. He's a Florida man.
Yeah.
He doesn't even know what cold is.
Well, he'll just like come in shorts. I'm like, I'm good, guys.
Yeah, it's time
Let's
for
go.
Taylor to put her foot down. Our
Okay.
women's director.
And
Samuel's turn.
Oh, okay, they're just going to mine. You know what I don't get? I don't get these dang Cowboys fans thinking they're going to win the Super Bowl when they're about to lose in the first round to the Green Bay Packers.
They're not.
you Jordan, love to see it.
Samuel's not even wearing a Green Bay thing right now.
I'm not, because I actually almost wore my Packers hat, but I'm like, that would clash with the K-Life maroon, I was going to say jumper, but it's like a fleece.
It's like a pullover.
Yeah, it's nice.
It's not a quarter zip, it's a quarter button up.
Yeah, button-ups kind of annoy me, low-key. I wish it was a zip-up because it's like kind of awkward. Like you only can do one button because you do two buttons, it looks weird. Three is way too much. And I'm like, let's. I really like it though.
Is it too much, or do you just let the chest hair flow?
It's not appropriate at work.
I need that on a mug.
Yeah.
Is it inappropriate, or do you just let the chest hair flow?
That could be it.
That's my motto, except for I'm a hairless cat.
I'm kind of surprised though that I just said what I don't get, and you just kind of changed the subject.
No, I didn't.
I think you're in denial.
I said you're not even wearing a Green Bay thing. I'm wearing two Cowboys things. I'm wearing all blue, white, and silver right now.
Don't you do this every year though when they're in the playoffs?
Go into a spiraling emotional depression? Yes.
Yeah, because I think I saw a graphic earlier. Like every single year they're in the playoffs, like lost in wild card, 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 divisional round.
There you go.
Wild card, wild card, wild card, divisional round.
Hey,
and then this year, wild card.
No, because here's the thing. I've never seen a Cowboys NFC Championship game. I've seen them win 3 playoff games in my entire life. And Samuel's Packers have been in my imagine like what is it, 13 to 18-year-old Dane, just despising the Packers, and I still do.
And you have our old coach that we fired because he couldn't get the job done.
Yeah, big conspiracy theory game tomorrow.
I know. It's like, ooh, is he being a Packer faithful here? And be like, okay, guys, we're gonna run a crazy play that will let the Packers win.
Jerry Jones has pretty much said that if we don't make the NFC Championship game, he's out.
Well, also something else is I think they are undefeated this year at home.
We are, yes.
So when the Packers beat them at home, no one's keeping their job except Dak. He'll get a $500 million contract. Be like, it's not your fault, obviously.
What a fun time. Because it'll be 38 to 35 or something like that. Because the defense, it's playing worse in the recent weeks. And either way, though, we're going to make it all the way. Because we're really good at home.
Well, I think then that we probably have different predictions on who we think are going to go to the Super Bowl and then win the Super Bowl. So I think it's a perfect time.
I have a question.
Yeah?
Is this who we think will win or who we want to win?
Well, I don't know what you're talking about yet, but I think right now that we're not going to draft necessarily, but we're going to predict our perfect NFL playoff bracket for this year based off the teams that are in it. And we're going to go game by game. We're going to give you our quick picks. And I feel like we'll agree on most of these, but also not agree with what matters most.
Are we just doing the first round?
We're going the whole way.
Picking Super Bowl champions.
Because no one has, at this point when we're recording, no one has played yet. So we gotta get our predictions in.
Yeah. So if you're listening Monday, just know this is before any game has played.
Yeah, which doesn't matter because we got them all right.
Exactly.
Or one of us got them all right because we can't both be right because we will be different.
And this is who we think will win or who we want to win.
This is who we think are going to win. Okay, for sure.
I like that better.
Eagles, Buccaneers.
Okay.
I'm picking Eagles.
And is this we both picked the game at the same time?
Yes.
Okay. So AJ Brown's out.
Wait, I'm confused now. So are you trying to pick your pick?
Yeah.
Or do you think the Eagles will win or you think Buccaneers will win?
Well, I'm making my pick right now. Yeah.
Okay.
But it's AJ Brown's out.
I saw
for the game. And it's in Tampa.
Yep.
And I'm like, gosh, this Eagles team, they're so much more talented than the Bucs, but they feel like they've quit. Give me the Bucs, honestly.
Okay, so we're already different. I saw that argument, and I saw the Eagles have been bad, but at the same time, I know they can be so good, and they've been historically, by historically, I mean last year, very good in the playoffs, and I think they'll bounce back.
Baker's
even
hurt
without
too.
then they'll definitely win.
Baker has like a thumb injury, a rib injury, and an ankle injury that he's playing through.
Even though the Buccaneers are good, they're the higher seed, I think the Eagles will find a way to get this first round matchup done.
That's the torn in me, is they're talented enough to just win on talent alone, but I'm still taking the Bucs because it's at home.
Okay.
I think the Eagles have quit.
Okay, so that's our brackets are going to be different.
Yep.
Okay, so then we'll just take them we'll just go to the next game. So Rams-Lions.
Okay.
I'm going Rams here. I think the Lions have been overrated all year. I don't think they're going to get it done. I think Stafford, he has really good receivers. Cooper Kupp, he got Puka. I think he's going to get it done.
Puka Nacua.
Yeah.
But I concur with what you say here.
I was like,
I think the Rams will win. You want to talk about a huge revenge game. These quarterbacks who were playing against each other were once traded for each other.
I wasn't even thinking about that.
Yeah.
Like, I know I saw all the stuff like Matthew Stafford's like, all I wanted to do was win a championship for Detroit. And he's playing Detroit. But I didn't even, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's kind of funny.
Stafford used to play for Detroit. Goff used to play for the Rams. They were both number 1 picks.
But the difference is Matthew Stafford did win a championship with his new team.
In LA.
And
but he's going to feel right at home because he played 12 years for the Lions.
It'll be interesting for
Which
sure.
is why we're taking the Rams.
Yeah, for sure. Get the Rams. Even though I'm not a huge fan of the Rams because the owner is crap and he moved him away from St. Louis.
Dan Kroenke can suck it.
Yeah. But
he's one of our haters of the week.
Yeah, we've mentioned him, I think, before.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
And now to the main event.
Green Bay Packers versus the Dallas Cowboys. Cowboys are by far the favorites, which is why the Packers are going to win this game. They have looked too good the past 5-6 games. They've compared Jordan Love to Aaron Rodgers a lot.
Never heard
just
of that
without the controversy. And he has been looking very, very nice. They have the youngest team ever to make the playoffs. And I think the youngest team ever before them, just like in general, was a team that went 0-16 one year. And
there's 2 teams that have done that.
Or this is the youngest team since that team.
The Lions did it in 2008.
Yeah, that was
the Browns did it 5 years later.
Yeah. Both teams were horrible.
Yeah.
But then this team makes the playoffs. I think they're gonna just keep going, and I think they're gonna win this game against the Cowboys. Who do you think? Do you agree with me here, Dane?
There's absolute delusion on the other half of this table here. It's who do I think is going to win? I think the Dallas Cowboys are going to win because we may have figured something out in our running game against Washington last week, which is great, and we're going to need it. And then same thing with our defense. I think Jordan Love has not seen a defense like that this year, and if he did, he played poorly. And he's also a bum, and Dak's great, and Mike McCarthy just needs to stay home. We'll let Dan Quinn coach.
Dane has his fingers crossed. He doesn't want you to know. He's lying about all this. He knows the Packers will win. But hey, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter right now. But we'll go.
My hands are folded.
We'll go next round for NFC. Just kind of finish it off.
Oh, we're gonna go all the way through the NFC.
We'll do
side
NFC
first?
and then go AFC.
Okay.
I think we probably both agree here that the 49ers will beat either the Eagles or Buccaneers, whoever they play.
Yeah, it's pretty self-explanatory. I don't need to talk much on it.
They're so good.
49ers are really good.
Amazing, yeah. And then the Rams, we will either play the Cowboys or Packers. I think both of us agree that our team at the bottom will beat the Rams, whether it be the Cowboys or the Packers.
I would be really nervous about the game if the Cowboys had to play. Well, actually, I'm pretty sure. So, okay, San Francisco would play the lowest remaining seed left. So,
that's how this works?
Yeah.
That's annoying. We can't really pick it all then.
Yeah, because they'll play the Rams then instead of playing, or they'll play Green Bay. You guys would be playing San Francisco in the second round.
Well, in that case, Green Bay's being the 49ers.
Dang it. Because that's why I really wanted the Cowboys to get the 2 seed, because the only way we'll see San Francisco is in the NFC Championship game.
Okay. Well, we'll change it then for this bracket system. So we'll say who's going to win the first round, and then we still can't do that though.
Yeah, we almost have to write this down.
Okay. Well, we'll just pick the first round, and then we'll re-pick next week. So that was really confusing, guys.
But just listen to our picks right there, who we thought will win.
Okay.
I think San Francisco will win this first round.
Okay.
Because they're not playing anybody.
You're right. I agree. So then for the first round in the AFC side,
yes,
we got the Cleveland Browns, Houston Texans.
Ooh, we could say who we have. We just have our Super Bowl pick too.
We will do that at the very end.
Yeah.
Out of these teams, I'm leaning the Browns way. I think whatever Joe Flacco has been doing, found the
Magic.
fountain of youth. Like, he's not going to
37.
lose a game here. He's going to win that game against the Texans. Stroud hasn't looked as good for the Texans lately, and I'm excited to see that old man move. It'll be good. It'll be good.
This is probably the hardest game for me to pick out of all of them. I'm just like, man, I don't know.
Yeah.
But I think Stroud's a better quarterback than Flacco, but Cleveland's got a really good defense and okay running game.
Yeah.
And
Flacco's been there. He has the experience. Rookie quarterback versus a guy who's won a Super Bowl.
that's true. And Flacco's never lost a wild card game.
I think I've also heard, I don't know if this is true for sure, but I heard this might be his last season. He might be done after this, but also if he plays well enough.
Keep coming
I
back.
don't know. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
Go take $4 million to be a backup somewhere.
Okay, so who do you think
I'm
end up
taking
winning?
Houston.
Okay.
I think they're just better quarterback and coach-wise,
Okay.
split.
Okay. Next one, I feel like we'll probably agree unless you just don't want to agree. We got the Miami Dolphins against the Chiefs.
Against the bums.
At home for the Chiefs.
True.
And we already talked about it briefly that Tua's never played in this cold of weather. Mahomes has had more experience here, and honestly, I think the Chiefs always just surprise us once they make it to the playoffs, even if they haven't played well. So I would pick the Chiefs here.
Yeah, defense, well, maybe not defense, but quarterback, head coaching combo is a lot of this in this league. I like Tua. I like Mike McDaniel, but I'll have to pick the Chiefs to beat the Dolphins, I think.
I think this last one we'll both probably agree again. It's the Bills and the Steelers. I think Josh Allen will get it done with the Bills. He's so good.
This is a pretty easy one as well. It's
Plus
Mason
Pittsburgh,
Rudolph.
their quarterback that they had to start the season, he got injured, so they have a backup.
Well, Kenny Pickett's healthy. They're choosing to go with
The other
Mason
guy?
Rudolph. Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm just like, okay, Mike Tomlin. I'm like, no, it's Buffalo. It's at home. Way better team. Way hotter team. And because they won 6 in a row to get in the playoffs and the 2 seed, including beating Miami last week.
Yeah.
So I'm like, beating Miami and Miami last week.
Okay.
So
so then the Ravens have the bye, so they'll obviously win
I think
their
they'll
bye.
win.
Okay, who do you think will be in the Super Bowl after this first week of projections on the AFC side? I'll let you go first here. I'm curious.
I think the Ravens will be in the Super Bowl. They have the most complete team in the playoffs, I think.
I agree with you, but it could just be my Missouri bias. I don't know how. It doesn't make sense at all, but I think somehow the Chiefs will make the Super Bowl again. Like I don't know what's going to happen, but something crazy's just I didn't say they're going to win the Super Bowl.
Right.
But somehow they're going to make it, and it won't make any sense, but they will.
I think the Chiefs will make it to the AFC Championship game and then lose in Baltimore to Baltimore. It's just
I think either way, I would pick the Ravens and Chiefs right beforehand, probably playing each other.
Yeah.
But I think the Chiefs will somehow pull it off.
Well, even Dalvin Cook signed with the Ravens last week.
Yeah, which he didn't do anything for the Jets. So I was like, okay, whatever.
But he's better than who they have there now. So it's like they got a little bit better anyways.
Yeah. Something else that I'm looking forward to, if the Browns beat the Texans, then the Browns with their old man.
Revenge game.
Yeah, he'll be playing the Ravens. And that's why I think there is a slight chance that against all odds he could knock out the Ravens, which would be crazy.
If the NFL is rigged, the Browns are Joe Flacco is gonna beat the Ravens to go to the AFC Championship game.
They're gonna have the Browns versus the Buccaneers. Baker Mayfield in the Super Bowl.
Unbelievable. If Baker Mayfield's in the Super Bowl, I'm gonna leave this room.
That would be crazy. And then on the NFC side, I'm not biased.
I can't believe you're picking the Cowboys.
I'm not biased, but the Packers are going the whole way. If they get through this first game, they're going the whole way.
No.
They're going. And they're going to beat the Chiefs and win the Super Bowl. It's going to happen this year. Jordan Love time.
That'd be the only time I root for the Packers is when they're playing the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Or if they're playing the Eagles. I would root for the Packers over the Eagles.
And then for you, are you taking the Cowboys the whole way?
I don't know. It could. Okay.
I said realistic picks, but also these are realistic on my side. There we go.
It's San Francisco or Dallas for me. And I would, if I'm fed truth here, I don't think we could win in San Francisco. And because we played them in San Francisco this year and got spanked, but we are a way different team now than we were when we played them in week 5.
Well, yeah, you were bad like the first 5 weeks and then you turned it on.
Yeah, we were 3-2. And then
CeeDee Lamb's like, hey, throw me the ball.
Yeah. After the bye week, we changed completely. But I don't know. Hopefully them getting spanked by the Ravens exposed something and that the Cowboys can watch, but I don't know. So I think I'm leaning 65% 49ers. So I'll take 49ers Ravens in the Super Bowl.
And then who's going to win it?
Ravens.
Okay. So you have Ravens over 49ers. I have the Packers over the Chiefs. Both our picks are not biased whatsoever.
Yeah. Sorry, guys. I picked the 2 number 1 seeds to play each other.
Well, I picked the 7 seed and the 3 seed. So
you're crazy.
I am crazy, but on it again, if the Packers or when the Packers beat the Cowboys, I think that's like the perfect sign. Like, hey, they're going to do something crazy.
Well, your second round matchup would be as the 7 seed. You're going to get the 49ers.
Yeah. And then if they won that one, like, I don't think anybody could pick any other team going against them. Like, I think that at that point, people would be like, okay, Packers, they're going to do it.
You guys would have to knock out the number 1 and 2 seed in consecutive weeks.
And then knock out probably the most likely a good chance the Ravens, even though I said it'll be the Chiefs. But it would be a crazy road to the Super Bowl. And
you'll have to win the NFC Championship game, though, too.
Yeah. And then, again, youngest team ever. They're going to win it. And then next year, they're going to win it again. And then all of a sudden, they'll be like, Jordan Love is the greatest quarterback of our generation.
Or is David Bakhtiari the greatest left tackle of our generation?
I think he's still injured.
He is.
He's like one of the highest paid players on the team, and he's played like 1 game.
He's played really well for the Cowboys this year by not playing for the Packers.
Oh, man. But yeah, those are our NFL picks. Hopefully you stuck with us through them. But we don't have a lot left in this episode. A couple more things, and we'll close it up. But this past week, we had something on our Spotify episode where like, hey, just ask us a question. Let us know what you want to hear about on the podcast. And we had a question from Allie Hoopy, OG fan of the pod.
She wants to hear more about communism, right?
No, every time. But she was just kind of asking us like, hey, what's the story behind your podcast, like art, like our cover photo,
Oh.
And it's not like we did a photo shoot for this podcast.
Yes, we did.
I mean, okay, we did, but we didn't.
Yeah, we didn't know we were starting a podcast when we took this photo.
Yeah, well, I think we maybe had talked about it.
We probably...
I think we did. I think we were still talking about it, and everybody's like, hey, when's the pod coming? Like, hey, we're working on it. We're working on it.
We said that for like 3 months.
It was like September to December. We were still working on it. But basically, we were at a young adults conference.
Jonathan Pekluda.
He
love
spoke
that
there.
guy.
Cool guy.
I met him there.
But
I almost threw up.
He rapped for you.
Yeah,
which
he
is
did.
Cool.
Still have that video.
I liked your Facebook post about it the other day. I saw it popped up. I'm like.
Oh yeah.
But they basically had like photo booths going on outside, and we were just kind of being nuts, and we had people taking our pictures, and I'm like, okay, this could be the photo. This crazy, hectic, doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. Because we were acting a fool, and then I got on the skateboard and I almost fell because I was pushing the shopping cart while on the skateboard.
And I was on a random guitar, just not really doing anything, and we were just kind of going nuts. I tried to stop you, I think, from falling.
Yeah.
And it was a perfect timing on the photo. It's really blurry. It's hectic. I'm like, do we need to change this art at some point? I don't know, but it looks pretty cool.
We need to change it to the one where we're at the wedding.
No.
I look flossy at that one.
This one is, I think, more representative of our podcast, but we might change it someday. Who knows? But for now, at least, it's just a cool photo.
Yeah, Sam is silly and fun, and I'm chaotic and hectic. And what is going on over there?
I think it's I think it's a good representation of our podcast. So
pretty much.
That's basically the story behind it.
Shout out Allie.
Yeah, shout out. Big fan. Also, shout out to all the Until Next Week listeners who randomly were like posting on your update for the cancer update you posted online.
Alvaro.
Like, I know there was like 2 or 3 or maybe 4 people.
Yeah, there was. It was pretty cool.
And I was like,
Crystal.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I don't know. I had there's
multiple people.
Instagram let me know that I have more than 500 plays on that video.
Hey, let's go.
And I was like, why are people? Well, they're probably watching it multiple times because it was a 6-minute lot of information video.
Yeah.
And so that was cool. But yeah, all you listeners who commented on it, liked it, etc., or really just been listening along with all this stuff, like thanks. And it's also just crazy because it's like, I don't know, the more I get to talk about it and think about it and things like that, the more I wrap my head around it. I'm an external processor, and I don't know, like just doing this podcast helps distract me too. So that's cool.
It's fun. It's fun. But yep, we're gonna close it up here. Really quick final thought for me, and then Dane has one.
Yes,
it's literally like 20 seconds apiece. I'm going to make my announcing debut this next week.
And now.
Yeah, it's my old swim coach at Missouri State. He's like, hey, what are the odds you want to announce the swim meet versus our crosstown rivals, which is Drury University, this next week? And I'm like, sure, why not? So I'm going to make my announcing debut for swimming. I think it'll be a good time. I'll tell you more about it next week. And then you have a little quick update and then a verse of the week or something.
I sure do. So Stanley Cups are out. So if you have
Our episode last week was literally about Stanley Cups.
Was it?
Yeah.
Well, they're out. TikTok informed me today that the bell curve of how a trend happens or whatever, starting with Gen Z has started to phase out Stanley Cups, and they want these Owala cups now.
The episode last week was called Stanley Cup Madness. I know the cups you're talking about, though.
Yeah.
They are trendy. They're pretty cool.
Yeah, everybody's buying those now. I almost bought one this morning, and then I was like, no, I have a working water bottle.
Yeah.
And I'm not a trendy 7-year-old yet. I need to wait 2 more weeks.
Yeah, and then you get it. Yeah.
And then I get it. So that's kind of my thing. Yeah.
Okay.
So Stanley Cups are out. Go get you an Owala.
Yep. And we're going to go into a verse of the week with Jesus, who is our number one sponsor.
He is our number one sponsor. We're tying that in together this week because we can. And so the verses that I'm using is Isaiah 55. Isaiah 55.
9 and 11 through 13?
Yeah,
something like that?
9, verse 9, and 11 through 13, yes.
Okay.
So it says, for the heavens are higher than the earth, and so are my ways higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts. And then we go down to 11. So shall my word be that goes out from my mouth, it shall not return to me empty, but it shall accomplish that which I propose, or that I purpose, and shall succeed in the thing for which I sent it. For you shall go out in joy and be led forth in peace. The mountains and the hills before you shall break forth into singing, and all the trees of the field shall clap their hands. Instead of the thorn shall come up a cypress, which is a tree. Instead of a briar shall come up myrtle, and it shall make a name for the Lord, an everlasting sign that shall not be cut off. And that's really cool. I was reading that last night, and I was like, man, I really like that. And then I started thinking about, in reference to that, all these things that are working together for literally the good of all of us, which is the good of the Lord and his will, because his ways are higher than our ways, and his thoughts are higher than our thoughts. And it started making me think about, like, even in reference to all my stuff, like, what's the point of prayer? Like, because I keep asking for these things. I keep asking, like, God, I really want to be cancer free. But what if it meant, like, me dying because of cancer brings more glory to God than him making me cancer free? Because people could see me walk faithfully through this, like, phase of my life, and then, like, not wavering in my faith. Doesn't mean I'm not mad, frustrated, sad, questioning it a lot of times. But what if more glory is brought to God from not healing me than from healing me? Not saying that he won't heal me, and not that things aren't looking bad right now, but I just kind of wrote down, I was like, what is the point of prayer? People say that prayer doesn't work, but what is the point? Is the point that we get our way in something, or that we draw close to the Father and are sanctified through him? Why do we have to get something when we spend time from him? Like, why does it have to be like, God, I'm only going to pray to you if I get this thing? Why does it have to be like this genie in the sky? That's not what God is. He's a loving Father, and a loving fathers just want to, like, be with you and talk with you and not give you ice cream for breakfast. The metaphor is, he knows it's not good for you. Therefore, why would he give you something he knows is not good for you? But also, that's when you have to discuss in your mind, like, what is good, what is bad? Because what God thinks is good and bad is different than what we think is good and bad. And so just this endless kind of process throughout your life of just like, what does God want from this? What does God want in this time from me? And what does obedience look like today?
That's a good word.
Yeah, I think about things.
Yeah, you do. You do. I can tell. That was a very thought out response, and that was good. That was good.
I learn things a lot.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. Someone else who learns things a lot is Jake Tristan Art, our number 2 sponsor of the pod.
I think he's on vacation right now. Because I saw his wife on Instagram. She took a picture of a suitcase.
That's a good guess.
At an airport, I think.
Yep, that's a good guess. I think we mentioned last week that he started a vlog recently. I think he's posted a couple videos. I've watched them. They're actually kind of good.
See?
It's kind of fun seeing them.
He's doing big things too. He's making art. He's making vlogs. He's going to be our video person for this.
One day he will be. He still needs some practice. He's working on it, but he's done more than I have. I haven't done anything with video yet.
Or if you're a TikTok millennial who's great at that.
Yeah, if you want to be our TikTok influencer person.
Intern. So we don't have to
unpaid
pay
intern.
you. Exactly. So we don't have to pay you.
Hey, yeah, reach out. But yeah, and then our number 3 sponsor. So like, I don't know, like a couple months ago or a few months ago, they had like this feature, and I was like, hey, if you want to, you can put this little link out, and if people want to randomly like support you and send you money, they can.
Hey,
and
I have one of those.
I know you do, and we'll put that in the bio, a link in the bio. But I was like, I'll just put this out there. I don't really expect much from it. But then I got a notification that this past week, one of our great fans decided to give us a monthly gift. And I was like, that is really nice.
Of $1 million.
It's $1 million. I'm surprised. So we might be able to upgrade our setup someday.
Yeah.
But still, the intern will be unpaid.
Still
just
unpaid.
so you know. But yeah, I got that email. I was like, oh, that's really cool.
Samuel has to get the new plug for his car. Therefore, the intern's unpaid.
Yeah. There's a lot of things that are more important than paying our intern.
Yeah, like paying my cancer bills.
Yeah, that too. But car, cancer, intern.
I wish there was another C for that, but
not kid. That's
with
the K. Yeah.
CID.
Yeah. But yeah, those are our sponsors of the week.
Side note, Baker Mayfield is questionable for Monday's game.
And I did not pick them to win.
Well, if Baker doesn't play, I'm out on that pick.
Okay.
I'm Eagles all the way.
But yeah, it's been episode 55 of the pod. I hope you enjoyed it. We'll have more stuff for you next week, some more updates, maybe a new swinging segments that we might kind of change in and change out of.
Kyle Trask is their backup.
Yeah, they're not winning
They're
if
not
it's
gonna
him.
win.
No.
I remember when he was at Florida. But
So
yeah.
one of us will have perfect picks going into the next week for the NFL playoffs. The other person will have to adapt their picks for the following week. And we'll just kind of go from there, you know? But
yeah, because it gets reseeded every time, so it's just really confusing. Yeah.
But yeah.
All right. Outro next week. We're going to come back with haters of the week.
Yeah.
So.
And we said we're going to keep this episode short, and we're just under an hour. So we didn't really go short. But glad you listened. Make sure to interact with us on our Spotify. Leave us 5-star reviews. Leave us voice memos. Give us 5 stars on Apple. And leave us a written review. Follow our Insta and do all the other things. And support Dane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're short. I'm 6 foot.
And on that note, this has been episode 55 of the Until Next Week podcast.
I love you.